Over this past weekend, somebody tried to steal one of our trailers in our Brampton yard. We caught it all on camera. It was great. What happened? So somebody tried to come into our Brampton facility. How did they get in? Well, basically they waited for a light vehicle to get into the yard. The light vehicle put in their PIN code, and then the semi-truck basically came in right after the light vehicle. And then for the next 10 or 15 minutes, they were pretty much scouting to see which trailer they wanted to steal from our yard. Luckily, we caught it in time. The thieves were waiting on Highway 50. They were obviously professionals. The truck was a stolen truck because after I posted it on my social media feeds, the owner of the company had reached out to me, apologized, and told me that the truck was stolen. Unfortunately, we didn't catch them. So the light vehicle actually gave me a call, told me that somebody came into the yard. I was on the cameras. This happened it was about 7:30 in the morning. So I told the light vehicle, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you come up to the truck and ask them what they're doing here, and hold your camera or hold your phone like you're recording them, because usually if they're thieves, that will scare them away. And that's exactly what happened. The driver of the light vehicle approached the truck, or tried to approach the truck. The second they saw that somebody approached the truck, that truck was out of the yard. So stepped on the gas full force and left the yard. So it got me thinking that, okay, maybe it's time that we get a security guard. It's not the first time. I've had a yard here in Concord, Ontario for 19 years, never had, problems with theft. We have a yard in Milton, Ontario, never have a problem with theft. But somehow this yard in Brampton is constantly getting targeted. So, okay, I guess we've come to the realization that we need to up the security in that facility. So what are the options? So the options are pretty much one of two things. Either we get a full-time security guard 24/7 at the compound, or we look at the virtual security guard. Now, why virtual? The yard has about 15, 20 different cameras all over the yard, and it also has, the plate recognition, and it also has the, codes for people to get in. So this got us thinking that, do we need physically somebody there, or a virtual guard is sufficient? So the answer, virtual security is becoming more and more common, because I feel like from a high level, you're able to see the compound a lot better, and you're able to detect theft much faster when you are looking at cameras. So the lesson learned, obviously our yard was vulnerable to targeting and unauthorized entry. I think that modern technology makes virtual monitoring extremely effective. Whenever somebody comes to the keypad or to open up the gate, two-way communication is extremely effective. Plus, we have the license plate readers, we have facial recognition, we have the zoom in and tracking, real-time alerts, and there's also panic buttons on the cameras. So a virtual guard is technically the way to go. Now, another reason why a virtual guard can actually open and close the gates manually. So a car approaches, and then, you talk through the camera, and then, the security guard or the virtual security guard will open manually the gate. Technically, we really have only two options. We either hire somebody locally in Canada, or we outsource it to another country. And this is where things get really, really interesting. Now, what's the cost of a local security guard? So we went through this test and we posted a job paying $19 to $20 an hour, which is on the low end. You could probably find somebody for $21, $22 an hour. So annual salary will be approximately $45,000. Once you take that $45,000 and add the CPP, EU, and EI contribution, that's another 15%. Approximately it would cost about $52,000 to $53,000. Now let's not forget, obviously the sick days, the personal days, the stat holiday, plus the other million one things that we have to pay employees these days. So maybe we should look at outsourcing it to another country. So hiring locally is expensive, and I'm sure that every trucking company out there right now is dealing with how you can save. So is this a position that you might want to save on? So for us here at ET Transport, it is a position that we want to save on. So I don't know if any of you guys know, but recently, probably 2 weeks ago, we flew out with my partner. We were invited to the Trucking Mindfest in Kyrgyzstan, where we spoke in front of 400 to 500 people over there. There are a lot of companies from Kyrgyzstan, from Uzbekistan, and from Kazakhstan that have big companies in the US. We're talking about companies with 100, 200, 500, 700, 600. I've met owners of multiple trucking companies. Never in a million years did I think that everybody's back-end offices are either in Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, or Uzbekistan. But there's a lot of companies out there. Now, you ask these owners, why is your back-end office in these countries? And once you go through the numbers, you kind of understand very quickly on how much money these guys are saving with their back-end offices over there. And this example is perfect when it comes to this virtual security guard. Now, I also met somebody who has a platform, and this platform basically, if you have a job in logistics, you would post your job in this platform, and then you would get resumes. So I decided to try it out. I actually met this guy in person, and here's a photo of him, Steve, and he has a medium-sized company in the US, and he has a platform called HuntMe. It's a platform where you could post your job. So I decided to post my job over there, and I got flooded with resumes. So just so you understand how much I posted a job for. So I posted a job for, I believe is $850 US is what I posted the job for as a monthly salary. Now you have to understand, when I'm doing this exercise for security guard, I have to have 3 full-time people, right? So I need somebody for the day shift, somebody for the night shift, and somebody for the afternoon shift. So it's 8, 8, and 8, 24 hours around the clock. So if I was to hire somebody in Canada, we're talking about minimum $150,000 a year. Why? Because it's 50, 50, 50. Now, if you are comparing the exact same salaries to Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, or Kazakhstan, you are looking at probably $850 or $900 per shift. Multiply that by 3, so that's $2,700 a month. Multiply that by 12, which is $32,400. So we have the difference of $150,000 a year or $32,000. So I decided, let's exercise this option. Now, once I posted the job, my emails got flooded. I probably got about 40 to 60 resumes of good qualified people. Now, there was dispatchers there was safety and compliance there was people that worked in, much larger corporations, and they wanted this shift. Now, why did they want my job? Because my job was a nighttime job over here, which we equivalent to a daytime job over there. So a lot of people working for trucking companies, they're working the night shift over there. So I guess this job was extremely appealing to them. I couldn't be happier. Did the interview, and I thought I was gonna deal with people that have broken in half English. They actually speak fluent in English, and they're very technologically savvy. I've gone through the training with, 2 candidates already, and I couldn't be happier with the candidates that I got. I mean, my trip to Kazakhstan was extremely eye-opening for me and for my partner. We talked about this on how advanced people are from Kazakhstan. I mean, I thought I was gonna go into, a third world country, and it was really not like that. It looked like, I don't know, downtown Toronto over there where we were staying. The amount of people that were a part of this conference, we're talking about 400 or 500 people that were there. We spoke in front of them. I thought I was speaking in front of 100 people, but it turned out there was about 450 to 500 people in the attendance, and I had an unbelievable time, and I'm communicating with everybody in English over there, and it's, it was beautiful to see how many people are a part of the logistics and transportation in a country that literally took me probably over 24 hours to get there with the flights. So it wasn't easy to get there, but it was extremely eye-opening for me. So when we're in the trucking industry now, heading into 2026, I think one of the things that we as fleet owners, VPs, managers, we're constantly thinking of creative ways on how to save, and we're thinking of how to do our job a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more, whether it's fuel consumption, whether it's idling, whether it's talking to your drivers, mileage productions. There's so many things that we are, as fleet owners, are currently doing right now that we've never done in our lives before. And our industry as a whole is struggling a lot. And it kind of, teaches us to be a little bit more creative, to be a little bit more, economical. And if you're not, you will get wiped out in this industry. It doesn't matter if you're working directly with manufacturing plants, somebody's going to knock on that door. And if they're doing the same job a lot cheaper than you are, you better believe that, your customer is going to end up leaving for a better rate. So this is just one of the things that I did, and I think that I was extremely happy with the outcome of this. For those of you that are interested in this platform, I mean, I gave it to you. It's the platform that I use now. So virtual jobs, I mean, it's not just security guards. I mean, they have really qualified dispatchers, and we're actually debating and thinking about it. They have, a lot of resumes came in that are, I would say they have at least 2-3 years experience in safety and compliance with e-logs, with auditing logbooks, with talking to drivers, with recruiting drivers. This is huge to be able to pay $1,000 a month. I mean, maybe not all positions, but definitely some of the positions, like a driver recruiter can easily work from there as long as they can do the job. So, I mean, that's just, my scoop on it. That's just, how I feel. I definitely used the platform. I was extremely successful with the candidates, and, let me know what you guys think. I mean, would you outsource some of your positions to different countries? I'm Ronan, and I'll catch you in my next video.